Andre Wade, was just released once again, here to talk about some of the things that are taking place in Texas Department of Corrections, where they say they correct you, but they don't do no corrections. But they will correct you once you get up in there, letting you know how it is, the way they want it to be, Texas Department of Corrections. You know, it's so much to think about what goes on, and there's so many things I can talk about what goes on in that place. Because that place, they're not trying to let anybody go. If you notice, your son ain't been home, and he probably don't have number 10 years, and he probably already done 8. And you wonder, and you go to thinking that, what is he doing? Why they not letting him go? A lot of times, them guys that's done those many years, it's the parole board. Don't want to let them go. Instead of setting them off, always getting set offs. They take all the classes, they get all the things that a person need in order to make parole. But when they send your paperwork in there, you don't make it. They set you off. On the bottom of the set off, it said that they'll monitor them to their next review, which is whatever amount of time they gave them the set off for, 1 year, 2 years. Now, if you go 2 years without a major case and you come up for parole, you're supposed to go home. You're supposed to go home. But in Texas Department of Corrections, they'll bring you up and set you off again. But they said they'll monitor you and your behavior from the time that they set you off to the time you come up for parole again. Now, okay, now there's something I'm missing right here. See, I've done a lot of years, and I had 13 years worth of set-offs. So I'm trying to figure out, hold up, let me back up. I had 13 years worth of set-offs. Maybe 3 of those years was because of the cases that I had. But 10 years was because of them, setting me out. And I wasn't getting into trouble. So don't go to thinking that your sons and your husbands and your brothers and everything is down there just messing up because they don't want to let them out. It's because of the parole board. I truly feel that the people that sending these parole letters in, getting these parole lawyers, you have to speak out a little bit more. You know, you can go to a parole review. You can talk to the commissioners that's reviewing your husbands, that's reviewing your sons. Talk to them and find out why isn't it that they're letting your sons and your husbands and your brothers and your sisters and your wives out of prison. Because in Texas, they're not playing. They're housing them men down there. They're housing them in them cells and them dorms. And I told you in one of my episodes that them dorms ain't nothing but a barnyard. When you go in them, they have an inmate in every bunk. They don't have cell blocks, it's bunks. And it's like a stall. And you know what a stall is? A stall is where you place animals. And this is the mindset that they have by placing you in these cells and in these dormitories. They're housing, you house animals. You don't house no man. Not for all the time that they are doing. Don't make sense. They say it's a money thing. They always saying that they broke. But they got thousands of inmates in these county jails waiting to come to TDC. We have to speak out. And one of the things I'm doing with Just Release, I'm trying to speak out to what's taking place in these walls. Not so much to make a joke of it. Not so much to sound as if I'm so educated about it. I'm only educated about my experience of what took in place while I was in TDC. The years that I've done. The nights I had to lay down and get a letter and hear about something that's done taken place with my family and I couldn't help them. But it was my fault. I'm the first one to blame. I'm at 85% of what's happening to me in my life. I don't blame anybody. I'm not mad at anybody. I did the time, and it's something that's going to be a part of my past, not a part of my future. But I can speak out. I remember we used to be in prison. We used to tell stories of what we done in society. And we laugh about it, you know, because you got to laugh about something when you're in prison. You can't just be sad all the time and looking all mean. You have to laugh. When you're doing years, you have to do it in a manner where it doesn't hurt. Because 20-something years is a lot of time for any man, which is what I did. And like I said before in one of my episodes, I hindered myself more so than anything. But the state, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, will hold you and will not let you go. When you don't have anybody out there that loves you and not speaking up for you, not calling down there trying to find out why you haven't been released, call. Find out what's taking place with your husbands and your sons. Find out what's taking place. Why they're not letting them go? Why they done so much time? Continue to do this here. Continue to do it. Do it weekly to where they know your name. They almost know the call when it comes. Do this. This would help your sons. This would help your husbands, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts and your moms get out of prison. They don't like when you call. They don't like when people call, and they don't like that because they are a well put together system. See, we out here talking about what we doing. We ain't doing nothing. We working every day, trying to keep from going to jail or whatever, trying to pay bills. I understand that. I know the person that's incarcerated within your family placed themselves there, and you done told them many times before it even much happened what was going to take place. But you love them. You love them enough to go out and hire a parole lawyer. Don't just leave it in the parole lawyer's hands. Lawyers, they're all for money too. Got good talk. We have to pray about it. We give it to God. But when we give it to God, there's a part that we have to do too. We have to call. We have to write Austin. We have to let these people see that we love our sons, we love our husband, and we want them home. We want them out of that place. We want them out of that place. We want them out of that born yard. My son ain't no hog. My son ain't no cow. Get him out of there. Housing them. Feeding them any kind of way they want to feed them. Always hollering about they ain't got no money. But everybody pulling up in the parking lot got a brand new truck. That's all they doing down now. Them officers buying trucks and having babies. That's all they doing. Feel like they living the best life. Eating in ODR. Don't even eat at home. They just eat at ODR. Take the kids and everybody to go get a haircut in the front office. Boy, we ain't going to get no haircut over there. Come on, boy, you going to go in and let these inmates cut your hair. Inmates cutting hair. Inmates building prisons. Inmates run everything in the prison. Why he can't go home? Why he can't go home? These men are building prisons. These men are driving trucks. These men are driving everything that's on the plantation. Why he can't go home if he's being good? Now, if he ain't being good and he in prison, he acting up, and he was acting up out here, then he deserved to be staying there. He don't deserve a parole lawyer. But we'll pray for him. We'll pray that in some way that he'll realize that prison ain't the place to be. And you don't have to be like that in prison. You can come out here and be like that. But be free. All I'm expressing is that you mothers, you wives, you sisters, you brothers, write those people. Call those people. Find out. Bug them. It don't matter. Bug them. They can't tell you not to call. When you call, they don't like it. When you write, they don't like it. They do not like a caring parent. They do not like a loving wife. They do not like a loving sister. They do not like a loving brother. The system is designed to destroy all love in families. The majority of the population is black. So what you think they trying to do? What you think they trying to do? If you love your son and you love your wife so dearly, they'll make your visitation so hard that you don't even want to come back. Make you get all out your clothes and take your shoes off. Come on now. This is the Texas Department of Correction. We need to help change it. This is Andre Wade with Just Release. Thank you. I love you. And just wait for me the next time.